Alright, new bow, new week, or new whatever. The Cloudburst is in the game, and if you're watching this video, it's likely on the day of release, because that's when most people like to check out these new bows, and unfortunately, based on my experience with this weapon, that will be the only day that people care about. So right off the bat, these are the perks that I went for. You can run this, that's fine. This is pretty standard for bows, though. Reload, crit damage, a nice even mix. These were not maxed out because I'm poor. I don't have enough perk up. But I stand by the fact that, you know, blue and or purple is a very good indicator of whether or not a weapon will be good. Like, if it's critting for, in this case, 968,000 or around there with purple perks, then if it was gold, that would maybe be a million. Like, it's, or maybe million one. It's not going to make a huge difference. Like, the amount of shots that you're going to have to hit to actually kill an enemy isn't exactly going to change. Now, for bows, the main limiting factor is fire rate and area of effect, and this is pretty good. I mean, it's a pretty standard fire rate. I mean, with a reload perk on this, I was able to get shots off pretty decently fast, and the area of effect would be nice, but it has the same issue with the vacuum tube upon release. So, eliminating an enemy creates a damaging cloud of steam that only occurs every 5 seconds. The vacuum tube one, if you do recall, has that lightning effect between enemies, and now it's hitting an enemy causes the weapon to cause a chain lightning strike up to 6 enemies. Upon release, this was eliminating an enemy with a 4-second cooldown. So I highly expect them to buff this in the future. I think hitting an enemy or eliminating makes sense because it's consistent with the steampunk weapons, but remove the cooldown. That cloud of steam was not doing that much damage. In a full party with a 140 zone with energy on the perk here, it was hitting for like 17,000 per hit, and not only is it difficult to get enemies in a cloud of steam unless it's like an encampment or a horde, it's just, you know, every 5 seconds it does a cloud of steam that hits for like next to nothing. It's not that big of a deal. I'm really not impressed with it. As for damage, it doesn't seem anything special. Alone, I'm hitting for 90,000, and with a team, it was hitting for like 200-something thousand, which is pretty okay. It was all right. I'll show my loadout for you guys again because you can see what I'm using here. I don't like to run totally rocking out on this stuff, and I'll explain why. So, from what I can gather, I think this has 2 crit damage perks. So you have a crit rating down here, you know, crit damage up here, obviously, and then I think you can do another crit damage up here. So you can do double crit rating, double crit damage. And with a double crit damage, totally rocking out, it just gives a false representation of how good a weapon is. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Any weapon can be good with totally rocking out if you give it all of its crit damage perks and just crank up your damage to maximum. I feel like a very much more normal use case for this would just be typical blast from the past, just casual gameplay. Obviously, if you're going to do totally rocking out, you're going to hit for more damage, but it's not going to be super consistent, and it's just not a great representation. So I don't like to run totally rocking out myself, but trust ensured it's going to do more damage. So as for the best perks, you can see I kind of went for everything here. If you want to perk this up appropriately, I think this is the best all around. This is what I would recommend on the boom bow if it had a reload perk. I like that. That reload is good. It kind of is necessary in a bow because all of your damage comes from a single bow. So to get those shots off as fast as possible is important. From what I can tell, I think drawing longer does a little bit of extra damage, but I'm not entirely certain if there's a multiplier on this, and I'm not really a fan of those multipliers anyway, because to charge up for so long to hit a target that might not even die. I mean, obviously a smash is a bad example, but you get my point. Like, you're waiting a long time to do something that, well, an SMG or any other sniper probably would have taken care of by now. So I prefer reload, but if you want to go maximum potential damage, go double crit rating, double crit damage, or damage, crit damage, if you want to just get all of your crit rating from totally rocking out. But I think crit rating, crit damage is the highest DPS technically, but I think that this might be the best all around. Now, when it comes to bows, obviously it depends. I'm sorry, I wish I could give you a better answer than that, but if you want to go min-max everything, double crit rating, double crit damage would be great for damage, but, you know, reload to get a little bit more consistency, and I think that damage down there is doing a bit of extra good. And as for elemental, it kind of depends. I prefer energy because it's best against kind of everything, you know, balanced out when you factor in the fact that you will be attacking elemental enemies, but, you know, if you're going to go with a different element on this, you're going to want to make sure that something else picks up the slack, so that'll be up to you if you want to decide. So that's it for the Cloudburst. As of release, and after my initial opinion, comparing it to some of the others, it ranks towards the bottom right next to the compression burster. I'm not certain that this is anything more special than like the love song. It's basically the love song, except that it creates a cloud of steam every 5 seconds. So if they buff that perk, this video would be great to revisit, but assuming they change nothing to the damage or the perks, I believe my recommendations will remain the same. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you're new. Hope you guys have a good day, and thanks for watching. And then the